I've had some very interesting conversations with estheticians specifically about personal hygiene and how you talk to clients about personal hygiene and why it's so important. And I think that a lot of our information that we have, we try to really not say anything. If we have a client that's having issues with personal hygiene, we don't really say anything, not realizing we can influence a lot of our clients by just having simple conversations. And you guys know I'm all about simple conversation. Why do I say that personal hygiene has to be a part of Brazilian waxing? So estheticians who are out there, if you're Brazilian waxing right now and you do not have a plan of action for your clients who have personal hygiene issues, this is a conversation for you. I personally had a lot of experience with this because of the way that I brought up the conversation and also the suggestions that I made for the clients to really try to change what was going on. Because here's the thing about Brazilian waxing. We are in the body area, the pubic area, the front and the back. So we get exposed to a lot of things, bodily fluids, feces, urine, all that other stuff. If you take that in its own and you start really looking at what we could do to change the way our clients communicate with us about those situations, it turns into a different ballgame. So a client that I had that I really just finally went up to her and said during the service that I'd like to chat with you a little bit about, personal hygiene. Have you ever thought about what you do at home and how that affects everything? And that's really how I started the conversation. And I started the conversation really just talking about, her laundry. And how often does she wash her clothes? When she wears underwear, does she use kind of fabric softener? What kind of detergent she uses? What kind of body soap she uses? And that's kind of how I started the conversation. From there, it really morphed into her discussing that she's had personal issues with hygiene because she's either had negative reactions, she's tried, multiple soaps, a big... And I hate, when you see all these commercials on TV, but Summer's Eve and all of these washes that are for women and feminine hygiene, for some women, it's like bleach. And it gives the opposite effect of what it's supposed to do, which is help with cleansing. It really just begins to have a breeding ground for problems. And I've had personal experiences with trying to figure out myself, what exactly is going on. So getting back to the same client that I'm talking about, I started telling her about not wearing underwear at night. And I told her, I said, we really need to get this area to have oxygen, be able to get in, your skin be able to breathe. During the daytime you have underwear on constantly, but at night, can you not wear any underwear? And she said, I never really thought about it. Let's start with that. The next time she came in, she was so excited that she had noticed a change in her body odor that she was like, I really appreciate you, talking to me about it because it's not something that we talk about. And I told her, I said, my biggest concern with you is that not that I'm smelling you. It's more of, do you understand the chemicals that are coming into play with your body and your scent and how it's becoming very negative? Like, that's where I want you to understand that everything that touches your skin, whether it be body, whether it be personal areas, underarm, hair, that you have to understand that sometimes people do not react well with chemicals. I'm one of them. It's taken me a long time to figure out I can't use soap. I cannot go to the store and buy Dove or Oil of Olay or Dial or any of those. I can't use any soaps that you buy in the store. I had to really research the kinds of soaps that I needed in order for me to really understand that I can control my body odor by just soaps. And she was like, really? I never thought about it. I said, think about it. We don't really think about it in that way. So there's twofold there. There was conversations about what was going on with her, but she was also coming back, giving me progress reports, but she was still coming back. So that's where the building of the rapport comes in to have consistent clients. I took a not normal path of communication with a Brazilian wax client and didn't talk about Brazilian waxing. So I also had an employee She was a little bit larger of an employee. I don't think anyone had ever had a conversation with her about just her personal hygiene. And I finally had to sit her down because I had multiple customers kind of complaining. So I just kind of sat her down and said, I'd love to have a conversation with you about what the feedback that I've gotten from our clients. They love what you do, but there's just an odor that's a little bit overwhelming, and that they feel that I should address it with you. And she, immediately turned bright red, but she also came back and said, I've been trying to deal with it for a long time. Obviously I'm aware of it. I'm not really sure what I'm doing wrong. That was another opportunity to go in and have that same conversation and just say, there's a numerous things that could be coming into play. Toilet paper, soap, detergent, fabric softener, bleach, all of these things have a strong effect on how you will smell. We do a very intimate service. We do such an intimate service where, we have our hands in places. So how is it so difficult for you to have a conversation when you know this is an issue? And when I say it's an issue, my thing is that if your client is no longer in the room, but your room smells like your client, that's an issue. That to me is something that I can bring up to them and just say, let's talk about it. There are other key things that I love to have that are tricks of the trade for estheticians as well. So I'm not a fan of candles, but I love to have oils. I'm a fan of oils. I love oils. Putting my favorite lavender onto a cotton ball and keeping it in front of the steamer once the client leaves and spraying it and doing it over the bed is one trick that I've been doing for years. Another one is I do the same thing in the summertime over a fan. So I would put the cotton ball directly into the little slab where you have the slabs for the fan and turn the fan on immediately once the client leaves. I take all of the sheets off, and that's why I'm a fan of not even doing sheets. I love to have disposables. I love disposable paper when I'm waxing. I love all things disposable. I love disposable. I'm not a fan of panties, but 2x2s, 4x4s. I love my paper roll because it's poly back, so it has plastic on the back, so even if they sweat, the sweat won't come through, and it's bad when you get a sweater and a funky monkey. Those are bad combinations. So I really over the years have had where I can do a poly-backed roll where everything goes into. I just ball that up, throw it away. I always keep Clorox wipes on hand. I wipe down my bed because there's no sheet on it when I'm waxing people. I wipe that down and the smell is instantly gone. I think part of it is that we're so accustomed to doing things for customers because that's what we do for facials. But this isn't a facial. It's really not. The other part of it too is that, do you discuss the personal hygiene part of it? Because the pre and the post are really the personal hygiene. If you have clients that chafe, and Brittany brought that up, I love to talk to my chafing clients. I have experience with chafing. I didn't experience styles after 40, but the chafing is here. So, that's where the underwear discussion comes in again. If you wore your underwear less, it would not rub against that skin and cause that skin to discolor and become a little bit more rough. So why don't you take the underwear out? The other part of it is I love to talk to my G-string wearers, because G-string wearers don't understand that the string sometimes is causing what their hemorrhoids are. And I'm not a fan of G-strings. If I have to wear a G-string, or if I don't want to have my panty lines show, I'm not wearing any underwear. To me, that's just simple. But to shove a string up in between my booty cheeks, now, and I'm black girl butt, so my butt is really round and juicy. So not all the string makes it up. So the string is down, and then it don't look right. So I might as well just take them off. It's really, it's discussions, it's conversations, it's being open to have them. And I think once you realize, especially waxing, Brazilian waxing, we have such a rare opportunity to discuss so many different things that we miss the mark. I love discussing the G-string phenomenon. I love explaining to clients who come in a G-string and then they have the nerve to try to put them back on. Oh, no. No. The G-string that you have on has your butt bacteria and your cootie bacteria, and no, we're not going to do that right now. You can go ahead and just wear your moo-moo and go on home. I love having conversations about the reason I describe them in this way, because I don't want people to be offended in the way that I'm saying them. I say them so haphazardly that it's normal conversation for me. You know, when I had someone say, oh, my daughter, she said, oh yeah, it is a great ad for that. My daughter would love to say, and she does still in public, are you spraying someone's butt today, mommy? Or are you waxing someone's butt? And I said, oh, I'm gonna wax somebody's butt. And then we keep moving. And it's funny, the reactions of people, especially moms and women, they're always like, did she just say spray a butt? Or did she just say wax a butt? What does waxing butt mean? Let's go ahead and have a conversation, honey. You want to go ahead and make a appointment? Yes, honey, that's what I do. Wax butts. Yes, absolutely. I wax other things, but I make most of my money waxing butts.